workshop in order. Thank you all for being here extra early today. I don't think it's any hidden agenda now that everyone knows that cleaning our county up and making it more presentable for the folks who live here and the folks that want to live here and call it home is quickly becoming a top priority of this board. Our staff has done a phenomenal job at putting together some information and a presentation for us. I'd like to tell them, thank you for doing that, and we're looking forward to hearing what you have to say today and engaging in some very tough conversation that's going to hopefully help move forward our priorities with regards to cleaning Henry County up. Okay. Having said that, Ms. Emblich, looks like you're poised and ready to rock and roll.
Thank you, Commissioner. As you stated, this is a presentation on Henry County Code Enforcement. At the last board meeting, staff was directed to provide example code cases from each of the 5 commissioner districts and walk through the process that they're in. Some are still in the process, some are closed, and to provide the opportunity to talk about them and how the process works. We have a PowerPoint that you received in your packet subsequent to the publication of that. We've made some minor updates to some activity on some of the cases on recent activity. And also as part of your packet, we included it once again, a copy of the code enforcement flow charts for the process and also the informational flyer that we produced last year as part of our effort for the community cleanup. We wanted to have a handout that spoke to code enforcement and also animal control as well. So having said that, what I wanted to do was to go ahead and start going through the PowerPoint presentation unless you had some initial questions.
I do not. Please proceed.
Okay. All right. Well, so we're just going to walk through here. We have our first example is in District 1.
Do we know her, Commissioner Byrd? Did she send notice of why? Is everything okay? I mean, do we know if she...
You know what? I haven't heard anything.
Oh, well, I'll make sure I'll give a quick text.
Well, we could jump to the next district and wait
I'd
until
like to
hers.
do that if you don't mind.
Yeah, good idea. All right, so District 2, which I believe is Commissioner Harris's district. The first example we have there is 495 Marion Avenue, and it was a junk and debris violation. This walks you through when the case was opened and a notice of investigation was sent, the pictures that were taken, and then, can you scroll down just a little bit? Oh, that's it? Okay. Well, and you can show that the cleanup, the property owners cleaned their property up, and we closed the case.
On that top right picture, that window unit, that is a code violation, correct? Or is that
No,
legal?
it's not.
It's okay to do that?
Yes.
Okay. I just noticed it wasn't in the bottom picture, bottom right, and I was wondering if there
Well,
was...
it's a different location in on the.
No,
it's
the
the same
picture.
picture.
Just removed.
They took it out.
They removed that and replaced the curtains because they had like a cardboard box there and a unit, and then they did remove that. We did not ask them to do that. They did that with the rest of the.
So there is no safety hazard associated with...
Oh, with that, yeah.
Okay.
No, sir.
All right.
I was looking the other way. So, yeah. All right, so the next example is 1224 County Road 78, and it's a junk and debris case. As you can see, we have a timeline that started off with the case being opened in March and going through the whole process. A citation was issued. The citation was sent to the courthouse for a hearing. The hearing before the judge occurred on 7/19. The judge ruled no action because the property owner is working on cleaning up the property.
But let it be known, he hadn't cleaned it up.
And yes, that's
Yes,
correct.
I had pictures
He cleaned up half of it.
of the
Right.
day, that second picture was the day of court, the 7/19
Yeah.
was the day of court.
He's got another truckload.
And yes, and then the next step is to
Kelly, yeah, you're gonna have to come up here, sorry.
I have a meeting with Kelly Anders, Code Enforcement. I have a meeting with the property owner, I believe it's on the 10th, to walk the property, let her know what she has to do to clean up. And then if she still hasn't complied, then we schedule another court hearing and take her back before the judge.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Let's see.
Yeah. So the next example is still in District 2, located at 1484 Shawnee Avenue. The violation here is that they did not have a permit for the major remodel that they were starting here. The case was open in April, and we've gone through to where, why don't you go ahead with this one?
Was that-
And yeah, this is one where they, we contacted them, Code Enforcement contacted them, let them know they needed a permit, also let them know that they would be required to get an engineer letter because of the work already being started. And, let's see, the engineer contacted us, requested more time for him to draw up the plans. And then at this point, they've submitted the engineer letter, but they've still not filled out a permit application and submitted that. So we're basically going to just move forward with the code case on, actually, Don issued a citation to him yesterday.
Is that, just to clarify, is that a rebuild where some damage had occurred, or is that an addition, or what is that?
No, it was just an older home where they just decided I believe it might be pretty much new owners, and they just came in and wanted to remodel the whole thing, but they never got a permit from the beginning.
Okay. All right, I want to come back and explore that a little more.
Everybody, you want to come back and explore that more
That-
later?
Yeah,
Okay.
I made some notes
Okay,
specifically, so.
okay, good. All right, good.
Okay. Go ahead.
This was almost the same case. It was a mobile home that we found being remodeled without a permit. We opened the case, sent them the notice. We had to go through a couple of steps, send in the notice, posting the property. Then they did finally obtain a permit for it on July 5th. So that code case has been closed. They have an active permit now.
Okay, on those two, did someone turn them in, or did y'all just ride by and see it?
The first one I can't tell you because it wasn't my case, but the second one was my case, and no, I just saw it as I was driving past.
Okay.
This is just one of our properties that we don't always mow it. The county doesn't always mow it, but we always have to send a notice letting the property owner know that it's over 12 inches and it has to be mowed. So it's kind of one of our regular mowing cases. This particular case, the owner actually mowed it himself.
But that's, you have to tell him every time?
Every time, yes, sir.
He's a regular customer.
This one is 160 Tangerine. We actually had a different case open on it for them possibly living in vehicles and RVs. Well, they got the RV out of there, and the vehicles moved around, but when we went back, we saw this pile of debris back there where they tore something down. So we opened a code case. They cleaned it up pretty quickly, within like maybe 10 days. And the bottom picture there is where the front of it, where it's clean, and the RV was removed.
Yeah, they were actually quite pleased how fast you guys were there.
Yeah.
And after we talked about it, you were there promptly, and the people that talked to me were very pleased about how quick it actually took place. So you've done a great job there.
Thank you, thank you. This one is 245G Road. This was one that was junk and debris and mowing. The property owner did clean it up. However, Commissioner Wills, if you've been by there, this is a property that now has 3 burnt mobile homes on it. So there's an arson investigation. I had to get approval from the fire marshal, and then I had to get approval from Mark on which ones were considered, and this was all just within the last couple of days, which one was considered an unsafe structure and which one's considered junk and debris, so now we have to move forward on that. But at that time, they actually did the mowing, but now there's some burnt issues going on there with possible arson.
Okay.
This is 1125 Lillian Street. It was some more junk and debris. This is tenants. They kind of was really having a problem with constantly throwing this trash out there. And so far, it's stayed clean. It was cleaned up February 13th, and so far, it's stayed clean. But we just keep an eye on it to see if they go back to it. This was another one. This is 1195 Barber Street, junk and debris. This one took us a very long time to clean up, and actually in the end we didn't clean it up. But this process, the property owner passed away. So no one was claiming the property, but somewhere between May 30th and when we went out on July 6th, someone else finally came in and took over the property, whether it's a family member, whether it's what. It hasn't changed names yet. But, so that they actually, we had awarded the bid and was going to have the contractor clean it up, but the new tenants or new owner actually took care of it. This is, I wanted to show this one for Margaret. This is 6150 Double J Acres Road. This is one of the mold and mildew cases that we have. And it makes a big difference whenever they get them cleaned up and makes it look almost like a brand new mobile home. So.
I don't know what I was saying.
Okay, this is District 4.
Why are you laughing?
This place. This one, the property owners came in and tore down the existing mobile home and put in a little park model, and everything, of course, was done without permits. So they are not responding to us. We issued them a citation, and now we sent the citation over to court. They're not responding at all. And they do have a locked gate, so we would still need to get a judge's court order to be able to get in there and get the debris cleaned up and then move forward with a no permit. And I'm pretty sure that mobile home is a park model and it's too small and it's not going to be able to stay there, but we need details on it before we can say that.
Is somebody living in it?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Are y'all going after hours? You said they're not responding. I mean,
Go back. We've posted it. We've sent the citation. We posted the citation. When we get the subpoena, the court will serve them, and then we also post that serving notice at the property too. But they've not reached out and made any contact as far as phone calls and different things like that. Not with us. Go ahead.
specifically, my question is I know that there are cases like that where folks work and they're there and you're working, but they're not there until after you're off work. So I thought that y'all were doing some after-hour recon work where you go there at 6 or 7 o'clock because you know that's when they're probably going to be home, and just having that conversation with them, knocking on the door and saying,
Right, and we've tried that a little bit. They tried when they were out doing the living in the semi. Dawn tried that twice, and they're there. They just won't come out to the gate. And in fact, when we started going there and posting it, that's when they started locking the gate so we couldn't get in and come and knock on their door. So they're intentionally keeping us
Okay.
out.
okay, all right. Good enough.
Now, real quick question there, is that possibly a tenant and the landlord's not getting the notifications, or is that actually the owner that lives there?
The owner is the one who gets the notices. The only time we can go after the tenant is if the owner provides us with that tenant's name
Okay.
and address, and then we can, usually they'll give us a copy of a lease or just write the information down.
Truthfully, we don't know that. to answer
Exactly.
That question. It could be the owner living there, we just don't know.
Right, we
Right.
have at
We
this
can't
point,
probably
we
find
have
out who it is.
no.
Well, that's the reason I was asking, so possibly, say if it was a rental, they're probably just throwing it in the
Throwing it away,
garbage. So
right.
the owner's not even getting the,
Yeah,
Well, couldn't they go on your site, Barbara, and see who owns it?
We do,
that's
we
how
do.
that's who they
That's
send
what
them
it
to.
meant.
Right, that's what we have to do legally, and that's who we send it to, is whoever's the listed owner on the.
is it sent to the address of that, or is it the owner has a different
It's
address?
sometimes it's sent to both.
Okay,
We send it to the mailing address that's listed on the property appraiser's site, and then if that mail comes back, then we send it to the physical address.
Okay.
But like here, well, some of them do, and I think they have a central post office, but definitely if we see a mailbox out in front of the home, we definitely will send it to the physical address as well to get their
Could you
attention.
send two? Because sometimes they won't pick up the certified.
We send regular and
And
certified.
they'll pick the other one up because they don't have no choice.
Right. We send
Nobody
regular.
haven't seen them go or come?
No, we see them in there when we pull up, but they won't come out to the gate.
The gate's locked.
Yeah, they won't
But I
come
was
out
just
to
saying,
us.
during the time, maybe when they're working, if an officer could just, kind of,
Right.
just at least catch them when they're coming out, to serve them. Truly, they know they're not right, and that's why
Right.
they're dodging you.
Right, and that happens a lot with us. A lot of people are very helpful and willing, but then we have a lot that just completely avoid us at all costs.
Another question is, in a situation like this, could we possibly get with the sheriff department, see if we could have a deputy go out with you? They could gain access.
We can, but legally they can't gain access either unless there's a warrant for that to search that property.
Yeah, but they're more likely gonna answer one of them way
Right,
quicker than they
and
are
we
you
do,
guys.
right, and we work with them. I mean, we have not done that with this property, but we
Yeah.
do try to work with them on that,
Well,
but,
then I think that we need to implement a policy, obviously within state statute, but we need to implement a policy. I mean, if staff has taken,
All precautions.
justified
to try, yeah,
steps
to get in
to
there.
try to engage and communicate, and now you're telling us not only are they not talking to you, but they've clearly changed their posturing to now they're locking gates. They're not wanting to engage in a conversation. Well, then to me, you have to question what exactly is going on behind closed gates. And that's where I want to know, can law enforcement get in? Because, I mean, listen, do we know, I mean, I'm not trying to trivialize this at all. Dead serious. Is this a human trafficking issue that's going on? Is this a grow house? What kind of illicit behaviors are occurring at said address to where they're trying to prevent us from having access, and why are we not engaging in that conversation? Not that that's your job. I'm just saying that you're telling us that, they've been a bit evasive, and they've gotten more evasive. Well, now, I think to your point, Commissioner Wills, we need to take an active step. And I also think, ma'am, that word is going to get out quickly if that kind of action happens, that we're not going to stand by idly and just allow you to push this off. It says case was open on 5/22, but I bet you all knew and had seen something prior to that. It just happens to have the chronological time frame stamped to it to 5/22. But now here we are almost 3 months later, and we've had no real action, so to speak. I'm telling you, I hear our constituents. They get frustrated when a blight starts to occur, and they want to deal with that. And now you're having actions that they're just trying to be evasive, and I have to question what in the world's going on. So, Mark, this is something that I'm going to ask for us to look into. What can we do to protect code enforcement and give them more teeth? And if that means bringing a sheriff's deputy along, then we have to have that conversation with our sheriff's department. I bet it's not going to. I mean, do you think that 6 of these exist in the county? What were you saying, Ms. Butler?
Without a court order, they can't go on there.
Let me tell you what. Then we need to find out what's going on, because in the United States of America, in the democratic society that I occupy, I understand that you have rights, but at the same time, when we're trying to have a communication, then we need to engage the process and get involved quicker. So,
What
In a
can't
couple
you
instances, what we have seen, and I know one personally, was down the road from me, in a situation where the gate was closed, there was no response from the home. What they did is they enacted a wellness check, and they did access the property without anything. It was a wellness check. They went in, they knocked on the door, and someone come to the door. I know that for a fact. So there is an avenue there. We just need to find out what it is.
I mean, it's one thing if Big Brother is knocking on your door and trying to get inside, and you're John and Jane Q are doing nothing wrong. But guys, this is blatant, and they're essentially thumbing their nose at you all, which is, they're going to do what they're going to do. And just like I said, if we're able to take action to the other side and get movement on it, the same thing happens as well. If you lock the gates and now they have to go away and it belabors the point for 6 months, guess what? That word starts to spread as well, in my opinion. Do you think you have 10 of these countywide? Are there 30 of them countywide? Or are there 2? Rough estimate, not holding you to anything.
I'm going to guess, just going off the top of my head, right now currently, probably about maybe 5.
Okay.
Maybe, that's just
See?
guessing.
How long does it take to get a court order?
But that's what I was going to say, especially with us changing the process and streamlining it, moving it faster. We have the capability of getting a court order from the judge. We also can request, I've personally never done this as long as we've lived here, or as long as I've worked here. I don't know if it was done previous to me. But we have the capability of going to a judge and getting an inspection warrant, which is similar to a search warrant. but we have to have, and obviously this would
Probable
fall into
cause.
that. We have to have probable cause, we have to have evidence of a violation. I right now do not really know how that works. I'm trying to find out.
If that could happen
But-
tomorrow, I would still rather see you exercise a health and wellness visit, a deputy knock on the door and just saying, hey, we've been serving these, hadn't heard anything, is everything okay? Y'all get them? Do something proactive nicely before we go at them with the
And-
teeth
I agree.
Right.
every single avenue.
Absolutely.
So, that, we can re-engage. I'll add that to my list of things we need to re-engage at the end.
They're not gonna open the gate for deputy.
They might not, but then I would feel much better about saying, absolutely, now we need a court order to let us go in there, because
We
they've tried, they've called, they've this, they've that, the deputy tried,
But
we need to
when-
get on that property.
When the deadline's over, that's when it needs to go to the court for court order.
Okay,
Right, thanks.
thank you.
This is 745 South Hacienda, also in District 4. This one has cases open for, obviously, junk and debris, inoperable vehicles. There's several violations. Myra, if you want to go ahead and switch to the next one. Twice now, once on May 9th, we received a call from the property owner asking for more time. He was cleaning the property and just got out of the hospital and needed more time. We gave more time. Didn't really see anything done. We did receive a call again on July 31st requesting more time, and I did inform them that I could not give them any more time, that the case has been going on since April, and we needed to move forward and see some activity. So Don was supposed to have issued them a citation this morning.
Well, the only conversation that I had with the judge said, quote unquote, if they're trying, and especially if he's 71 years old and has been in the hospital, I'm throwing it out every time.
And that was kind of one of the questions I had wanted answered last time, as far as, obviously some people you've got to pursue really hard, but other people's we get calls, that for whatever reason, an elderly woman who lives alone, and actually we had a couple who had their church come over and trim their trees, and they just piled it all up on the road. Well, then the elderly couple got the violation and didn't have a way to clean it up. So those are the kind of things where, do we give more time? Do we not? I mean, we also try to be reasonable about it. I know y'all want us to be more aggressive, but we try to be reasonable. Just an example, the elderly couple, by the time we issued them a citation and took them to court, they would have already had someone to get out there and get it cleaned up. So if they ask for another 5 days, we'll give them another 5 days.
Right.
Depending on what the situation is. The cases that we get that are constant repeat offenders, no, we don't like to work with
That's
them,
right.
because we've worked with them for years.
We've given, we've bent,
and
we've
they'll
given, we've
clean
bent.
up and go right back to it.
But you do have to be humanistic about it.
Right.
And I know that's tough, and I know on your staff it's probably even tougher. But that's just the ultimate way that this has got to happen.
Right.
And every case is different.
Exactly.
Even after I reviewed the book, I was like, wow, because I was complaining, but when I looked at the book and seeing the follow-up and the follow-up and the follow-up, and then, everything's a follow-up. But we have to find a way to get around that, because truly it looks bad. It don't look bad for me, but it looks bad for us. And I wouldn't want to live there. So,
Or beside
find a way to help them.
Or beside it.
Or beside it. So we just got to find a way to help them. And the elderly couple, that's a different situation. Somebody that still have their youth, that's a whole new different situation. So,
Right. This is 750 North Live Oak, also District 4 in Montura. This gentleman's putting inoperable vehicles on the side of the road. I'm guessing that he's getting them dropped off from, purchasing them from a junkyard, gets them dropped off. Well, this case was originally opened in November. He closed it and complied in December 20th, and go ahead, Myra. And then when we went out on 7/21, he's right back at it again. Different cars, different. I mean, this is just your classic example of.
Same person, same.
Yep. And until we can get them into court and get them adjudicated guilty, we cannot classify them as a repeat offender. If we could get them in court and get them adjudicated guilty and get them classified as a repeat offender, then we could immediately issue them a citation for that violation. But until that happens, we have to go through the entire process.
That's a state statutory.
State,
regulation.
and it's in ours as well.
What does this person say Like, what is the conversation like whenever you ask them? And how do they claim ownership to something that's on county right of way if it's there for X number of days? I mean, I can't park my truck on the side of Hookers Point Road, can I, indefinitely?
No.
And I thought I was told that if the sheriff, if it's on county right away, the sheriff's department can sticker it and tow it the next day.
Exactly. They can sticker it, and I believe it's towed in 72 hours. Yes.
Can we make that request on behalf of safety? I mean, because here's what's going to happen. Somebody's going to drive down that with a four-wheeler. This is no different than the Pioneer landfill situation. They're going to wrap their four-wheeler around that car, and they're going to sue the heck out of Hendry County. It's going to settle for about $18 million in court. You know, it's never going to see the light of day, but we're going to pay. PRM's going to be really excited, but we're not. You know,
Right. And I completely agree. I feel like if these vehicles are being stickered and towed away, they will stop doing it. They will. I mean, if they're losing their what they would call an investment for whatever they're doing with these vehicles. But, yeah, it's just a matter of getting the sheriff's department to work with us
Do
on
y'all sticker 'em?
coming out. We have stickers and we can sticker them, but we don't have a way to tow them off.
No,
We
but
don't
I
have.
mean, you sticker them, if they see the sticker, they'd probably move them.
Oh, yeah, we do. When we go out to open the violation, we put stickers on each one of them. Yeah.
That's not the same. Is it, does the sheriff's department have a different sticker they have to put on?
Yes, they have a
See, they-
completely different one.
Then
Yes.
they got to come
Ours-
put theirs on and then still wait 72 hours.
Right.
yeah, but 72 hours is a lot better than.
14 or 15 days, I
Yeah.
think.
If they see a sticker
For
on
the
it,
sticker.
I'm sorry, Mike, but Commissioner, I don't have any remorse for this.
None. That's what I'm saying. It needs to be stickered as soon as possible.
Yeah,
called as soon as
I don't
possible.
care. You're 101 years old and got
That's
one
right.
leg. You parking them on the right of way, they need to go.
Yeah.
The property
And you
owner,
got sugar. I don't care.
the person that's doing this, do they own their property? Or are they renting?
An elderly man owns it, and when the officer spoke to him, he says it's his son doing it. We've yet to meet the son or speak to the son.
Can we bill him for every car they pull?
Oh, absolutely.
We can't, but I don't know if the sheriff's department can.
100%. They got their own towing policy. We voted on
They
it,
gotta
remember?
pay, if they pick it up, they gotta pay, and they probably won't pick them up, because they're junk.
Another question is, you know, even when they move these off the right of way, do they have the classifications that they need to be putting these cars on the property?
No, not
Right,
there.
No,
Like,
no.
like, does
No,
it make it,
no,
this is
there they
basically
go.
commercial
An auto
usage
salvage.
is what you're saying.
What I'm asking is, yeah, are they classified where they can actually take these cars and park them on their property, or isn't that another
No.
violation there?
That's another
Nowhere
violation.
in
So
Because
they're,
it's no
they're in
change.
violation all the way
No
around.
matter where they put them.
Right.
That's right.
So even when they do move them off the right of way,
Right, they
so
still
we got
get-
more than one issue here.
Because these are inoperable vehicles is what
Right.
you're asking, right, Commissioner?
Yes,
I
sir.
got you.
Hey, it's better that they're on the right of way because we can tow them in 72 hours. If
Right.
they're on their property, we got to wait 9 months before we can do anything about it.
Well, at least on their property, if there's somebody wraps one around, it's on them.
Yeah. Well, so today we went out there. You're telling me that there's multiple vehicles, in your opinion, on the right of way, because on 8-2 you took a picture of it, right?
Right.
Okay.
One last question on that. How long do you wait? Do you get the sheriff's department involved in that now, or how long do you wait before we ask them to go put their sticker on the car?
We usually try to contact them. The day that we found this one, we were out there on a Saturday doing a sweep, and we called our contact with the sheriff's department. We didn't get an answer because it was Saturday. I called back a couple of times, but I've not really gotten a response back on it.
Maybe Chief Nelson will be here tonight. We can kind of ask that question along the way.
It's on my list to talk about.
District 4, 774 Siboney Avenue. We opened the case on July 13th, sent the notice of investigation, sent the notice of violation on July 21st. We posted it, and then I actually got a phone call from the property owner who informed me that this was a tenant who left it like that. You'll go to the next picture. When we went out on August 7th, she had cleaned up. She's cleaned up that area. There's a small pile of debris up there by that post that she was continuing to work on yesterday.
You'll see them, right? You'll see them.
The officer was going to get pictures of it being completely finished today. But that makes a huge difference to get rid of all that debris that was there.
And so, if I'm understanding this correctly, contact was made mid-July.
Yes,
Nice conversation.
yes,
Notice of violation was actually sent, though.
right.
And then they started the process of coming into compliance.
Right.
Did they pay anything? It looks probably not.
No.
They just cleaned their place up.
That's what we want.
Yes.
That's phenomenal.
That's what we want.
And we've
That's how it should work.
actually, for whatever reasons, I'm not sure if it is these meetings, if it is word of mouth, but we're not getting 100% compliance, no. But we have gotten a lot more. Most of these cases we didn't think would be able to be closed by this meeting, but a lot of people have actually been complying and reaching out to us. I used to go from about 4 to 5 phone calls a day to where now I'm up to about 15 from violators calling us to either let us know they've cleaned up or, find out when the deadline is before they have to clean up, but they're actually reaching out to us, and there's more communication than there has been in the past. This is District 4.
All right, how many more you got in District 4?
2, I think.
Man,
It's only 5 in each.
man.
272 Avenida del Sur. We were actually doing a sweep and got stopped by 2 people passing by us complaining about this. It's a vacant lot, and I guess dump trucks were just dumping the concrete out there. Well, we contacted the man. He came in.
Looks like you buried it.
He crushed it.
Oh, okay.
He
You did?
crushed it up and wanted to use it for fill. So
You did bury it.
Okay. But it looks better.
this is 101 Oak Drive. This is another one of our properties that we have to mow it every time. What did I say?
Yeah,
Oh,
thank God.
District 5, I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah, this is another one of our properties that it has to get mowed. And the first picture, if you actually look at it, the picture taken on June 2nd really doesn't look that bad compared to some of the other mowing, but we know this is one that's a problem, so we try to catch it as quickly as possible and then get it mowed within the 45 days.
So you got a bunch of lanes.
So let me ask you a question. On this particular property, just using it as a template, why can we not have, and I've asked this before, and I can't remember the answer, it's been so long ago. Why can't you have a list of vendors that you just go through and you send them out? And then we worry about the follow-up after the fact with the court system. Why does this have to go all the way back through the court system every time when we're just trying to get it mowed?
It doesn't go through the court system at all.
Okay.
We just have to send out all the required postings and certified and regular mail to the property owner. We have to make a valid attempt at contacting the owner. If not, we would just be trespassing. And we're not allowed to do that because it is privately owned property. So we have to make every possible attempt to contact the property owner.
Well, why can't we not draft language that makes it blanket, Mark? Because I mean, this is a property that's going on probably 9 years of being in disarray like this. Blanket to where, until said owner, who is completely vacant at the conversation, starts to engage. Because every time you do that, there's $1 associated with it. And $150 is not reaping your cost associated with you typing out, going in, checking, fuel cost to go look, so on and so forth. So there's an overhead cost associated with that we're running up the tab every time. We may feel warm and fuzzy about getting a piddly $150 back, but it's not recovering our cost. Whereas if we created something that said, okay, 101 Oak Drive, today, January 1, 2017, or August 8th, 2017, you're in violation. We're going to continue to mow your property every 60 days from now until he returns, unless you engage the process and notify us, and then the tab runs $150 every 60 days, every 45 days. But then said vendor goes out and just boom, it's part of their book of business now.
From my knowledge, Florida statutes won't allow us to do that.
Okay, what's your knowledge, Mark? Okay, I'd love to look into that.
And then what would happen if they don't pay it?
It goes on a lien on the property, and when that property sells, then I hope that the board, if I'm dead and gone, doesn't forgive it. I hope that the board says no. I don't care if you ran up a $20,000 tab on that, because there is a cost associated with doing business, and those people allowing that property to get in disarray and y'all all know this, it's affecting every property owner around there, and I can guarantee you they're telling me about it.
So you'd have at least 4 mowings a year, right? 4 times a year anyway.
At least minimum, summertime, yeah, and then a few through the,
That's
You're not saying negate the process.
$600.
Just get a vote, what you're saying. Continue the steps, because at the end of the day, we want to go back to where they come into compliance, and they learn to do it on their own, and
This
we
one ain't
guide
gonna
them
come
into
into
that.
compliance.
If
I
they
don't
don't
know
come into
what's happening
compliance,
there.
then we have to do
Does
it.
somebody live there?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. And they don't want to sell it,
I don't know.
so,
But
They don't want to mow it, that's all we do now.
yeah.
well, they're not taking care of anything. I mean, the trailer itself is mildewed over. There's an RV that hasn't been driven. Ms. Butler, you know which one this is, right? The wooden fence. The wooden fence and the stalls. I mean, at one point this was a sharp place. And I don't know what's happened.
What, did they die and just
I have no clue.
Is that the one right on,
Right on the corner, Flaghole
yeah,
and Oak.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, you're right.
How big a piece is it?
It's a couple, an acre, yeah.
Acre?
1.25. So I'm going to ask them to look into that, and then, but y'all understand the gist of what I'm saying, right? I mean, it's just not y'all having to leg work yourself to death. There's 2 of you, you know, so.
Right.
so-
District 5, 610 Fleetwood Street. This one had several violations. It was junk and debris, mold on the mobile home, inoperable vehicle, and mowing. And this is another one that we didn't think we would get this quick of a response. We opened it on July 11th, and by July 19th, the property was in compliance.
Nice.
The girl had done everything that we
Good.
asked her to do.
That's what we like to see. That's awesome.
We thought this one would go a little longer, but it actually went very quickly. District 5, 1108 Groton Road. This is one that permit for the addition and the shed has been ongoing since October. The reason it was going on for so long is the property owner came in and submitted plans to the building official or the building department and was in the process of getting plans for the addition he built without a permit and the shed. Well, somewhere down the line, he realized it was going to cost too much money and he wasn't going to do it anymore. So I'm looking here, I believe it was May 10th. He called the permitting department, not us, and let them know that he wanted to cancel the permit. So, of course, we called him and told, no, you can't do that because you've already built the things. Well, we're set to issue him a citation today, but the officer went by there yesterday because the tenant called, and he has tore down the shed. There's still a pile of debris. He's tore down the shed, and he's in the process of removing the addition.
So he's trying to come into compliance.
Yes, he's trying to come into compliance.
And what was going to be too much money?
Getting certified engineer letters
Okay,
for the
we're
work
gonna,
he wanted
we
to
need
do.
to come back to that. That's part of my big, large asterisk I've got.
And this is District 5, 3950 Henry Isles Boulevard. We currently have the case open for mowing and junk and debris. There is also a case open for the container and the RV. But first, this was just the case that was open for mowing. And we did get it mowed on somewhere around July 31st. If you'll switch to the next picture, Myra. Once we got it mowed, then we could now see that huge pile of junk and debris right there, and that's what it looks like on the side. So we are currently working on we have a case open to get, bid requests are going to be sent out on August 15th to get the junk and debris cleaned up, and then we are also in the process of getting a court order to get the container and the RV removed.
Ms. Butler, is this a property, I don't know if you happen to know, do you know where this one's at? This is right on Kanawha and Hendry Isles? No? This is one of those ones where, as it's coming in the tax certificates, if you look, the neighbors have bought up everything around them.
I contacted the tax collector's office a couple weeks back to try to find out if this was one that maybe eventually the county was going to take over, because of course that would make it way easier to remove this stuff. And the only information she could give me at the time was that one of the certificate holders requested a sale. And once that goes to public sale, then that'll determine what happens with it next.
Okay.
So it could possibly be changing hands here in the future, but yeah, this is one that has been completely abandoned for a long time. No interest in it whatsoever. District 5, 6300 Flagpole Road. This is another constant reoccurring junk and debris. Inoperable vehicles.